Now, ahead of Thursday's crucial meeting of the top organs of the People's Democratic Party, its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, is promising to work with those who contested the primaries against him, saying they all have various roles to play in the PDP's quest for victory at the polls. Our Rights correspondent here, Amaka, tells us more.
With 5 months to the presidential election, Nigeria's main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, is still in disarray, mostly due to the fallout from its presidential primaries. The National Caucus, Board of Trustees, and even the National Executive Committee meetings had to be postponed severally, and the party is yet to inaugurate its campaign council. Ahead of the meeting of its party's top organs on Thursday, Atiku Abubakar has been meeting with some presidential aspirants of the party to thank them for their sportsmanship, while promising to work with them for the party to emerge victorious at the 2023 polls.
I want to commend you for your maturity and sense of nationalism, and also your sense of unity for our great party. Because each and every one of you would have tried to raise a lot of dust after the convention, but you decided to accept the outcome of the convention and ensure that there is unity so that our party can succeed. So I want to commend your leadership for that. Let me tell you that I am ever ready to work with you, to listen to you, in fact, to be partners in this process, first of all, of campaigning, and I believe after we win in governance, in making sure that we rescue our country.
17 aspirants purchased the expression of interest and nomination forms, with 2 screened out of the contest. Only 5 out of the 15 who contested met with the presidential candidate. Notably absent is the runner-up and governor of Rivers State, Wike, who has been having a running battle with the candidate and the PDP leadership. Those who attended the meeting are Dele Momodu, Mohammed Hayatuddin, Tari Oliver, Kalu Chikwendu, and Charles Ugu. They are pledging their support to the party and its flag bearer.
We've met, we've discussed, and we believe that the aspirants should come together urgently to make sure that we offer our individual and collective support to this campaign. PDP, we believe, has the best chance of winning the 2023 presidential election.
With the crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, getting deeper, and the calls for the resignation of the national chairman, Iyochiayu, to step aside getting louder, the presidential candidate of the party today says it will take all hands to be on deck for the party to wrestle power from the APC, and he is asking for support from everyone to ensure that the party emerges victorious in the 2023 general elections.
Okay, let's bring in 2 politicians who were at that meeting with Atiku Abubakar earlier today. Dele Momodu and Tari Oliver both join us tonight on Newsnight. Good to have you both, Dele Momodu and Tari Oliver. Let me start with you, Dele Momodu. Well, you had that meeting. One person who was not at that meeting, conspicuously so, was the governor of Rivers State, Wike, and that signals to some people observing that all is still not well with the rift between Atiku Abubakar and Wike. What are we to make of his absence? And what exactly really did Atiku tell you at that meeting?
Well, let me say it is not true that the governor of Rivers did not attend or he didn't want to attend. Our group was formed recently, just about 2 weeks old, and we held the first meeting in my house in Lagos. That group was formed so that we can seize the initiative that while all the peace moves are being made, then let this small group start something. So one of us was away in America who had attended that meeting. That's Mazi Ohambua.
Yes.
Yeah, so he couldn't make it today because he had to leave for the US. We did not invite Governor Wike to this meeting. A few of us have been trying. I'm sure you would have seen my releases appealing for peace. So this is more of the starting point as a group that, look, if we wait until everybody would agree, then PDP will continue to be in bad news for whatever reason.
Right,
So
right.
today, in fact, if you go on social media, you will see a lot of people commenting that, thank God, at least we're getting something positive. So our move was to create this atmosphere of positivity, and I'm happy we achieved that with our candidate.
What exactly did you achieve? I mean, what did Atiku Abubakar tell you at that meeting? That was my other point.
It was a very convivial atmosphere, interaction. He opened up to us that we need everybody in the party, because the impression being created is that, oh, he's snobbish, he's not interested in reconciliation. It's not true. Just last week in England, he sat down to dinner with Governor Wike and a few of our other governors. So he is as determined as anyone else about the success of PDP in 2023, and he is leaving no stone unturned to make sure that we rise above whatever squabbles we have at the moment.
Right. Speaking about struggles, well, let's bring in Tari into this conversation right now. Well, you were the only female presidential aspirant. Of course, we know that you didn't eventually emerge. But let's look at the fact that, you know, Dele has just confirmed to us that, yes, Wike wasn't invited, but he's one out of the 10 others that didn't show up. So the others who didn't show up, were they not invited as well? Or was this an agreement to go in batches?
Yeah, basically, some of them are not in the country. This meeting, we were supposed to have this meeting about 3 weeks ago. Atiku Abubakar booked the first date and lots of us were not available. We had to reschedule. As a matter of fact, this is the third time. So we just said to ourselves, you know what, whoever is available, let's attend. We cannot keep him waiting. We cannot keep him standing, you know. Even His Excellency Saraki sent message this morning that he's still away in the Europe. Mazi is not available. And Nakweze is not available. A lot of people traveled. Even Pius Hayim, he was part of the major team for the Iwanyanwu's birthday that occurred over the weekend. Is not back in town. So a lot of people would have been in the meeting if they were around. So it's not as if people do not want to attend. It's because they were not available at the moment. Thank you.
Dele Momodu, let me bring this back to you. I mean, the question that's been asked really, exactly what was the essence of this meeting? Like you said, it was, well, it's a new group, right? And you've had this meeting with Atiku Abubakar, but what exactly was the essence of that meeting? And what exactly were the issues discussed? Did it include the purported planned resignation of the BOT chairman, Walid Jibrin? Did that even come up? Is that even a possibility? And if he really does step down, will it change anything?
We didn't go that far. First, we congratulated him formally as a group. Second, we pledged our support for his campaign. And the third thing was that we wanted him to reach out to as many people as possible so that we can have everyone under the same umbrella. And that we achieved today. I mean, from the speech which you played on Arise channel just now, you heard him clearly say that, look, I need everybody's support. Even next week, he told us he's coming to Lagos. He would want some of us, if we have the time, to join him so that whatever activity is involved in, we'll be able to make our individual and collective contributions to it.
Well,
Right,
Dele, I
but
want to
you've
stay
not,
with you.
you know, you've not addressed the issue of the BOT, but
No, I said we didn't go that far.
Oh, you didn't go that far.
Oh, we
Okay,
didn't go that
that's
far. That
that's
was
fine.
not on our agenda.
But even though you didn't go that far, we still have to have that, all-important conversation. The fact that we've seen the top organs of the party postpone their meetings several times before now, and of course we do know that there's a national caucus meeting currently ongoing. But all eyes are on the PDP, looking at tomorrow, the all-important BOT meeting as well as NEC meeting. Are you optimistic that the PDP will be able to get its house in order after tomorrow, especially looking at the fact that you're yet to inaugurate a campaign council, just barely a few days to the start of campaigns?
I'm not allowed to let the cat out of the bag, but I can assure you that all is set to launch the campaign council. That's all I can say for now. All is set. I mean, this is the most prepared, the most experienced presidential aspirant. I remember today when I gave you my book about my contest in 2011. I said, oh, Dele, you're almost like me. So you've contested twice. You see, he is so prepared. He is so ready. He knows virtually who is who in Nigeria and beyond. So you can't get him any better than that. He is ready. Trust me. But if he jumped into campaign council, they would say, oh, so all he's interested in is his campaign.
Right. Well, he made promises. He had promised the Rise News that by the end of August, that campaign council will be inaugurated. But here we are now. We are in September. That hasn't happened, although you're still optimistic. Well, Ngozi,
all right, yes. Let me bring in Tari Oliver here. I mean, like you noted earlier, she's the only female presidential aspirant that met with Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the PDP. Well, let's talk about the implications of all of this internal wranglings within the PDP, whether you're talking about Wike or the call for IU to step down. And now we're hearing, though not confirmed independently, that the BOT chairman is planning to resign, at least as a sacrifice to ensure that, peace does return to the PDP. What are your thoughts on that? What are the implications if the PDP is not able to fix this as quickly as possible?
Okay. So this year will be 19 years, and I'll be 19 years in PDP. And what I know is that the PDP is very organic, and it's like a normal polygamous family. There will be issues here and there. But one thing I've also noticed is that they have a way of resolving issues. We have party leaders, we have elders, we have critical stakeholders, and we have former governors, people that are well experienced. So I believe that they have what it takes to resolve the issues. They have what it takes to bring about inclusiveness. They have what it takes to ensure that the mandate of our candidate, which he says is the unifier, which I believe he is, will be able to come to bear. And if someone has to resign, I believe that they're going to make up their mind on that. And whatever the case is, I trust that they will do the right thing. So I'm just confident that my party will come out stronger. I'm just absolutely confident.
Nigerians, really, I'm not sure they are sharing in your optimism, especially when we see all of these stories, especially the back and forth between your presidential candidate and his runner-up. But Dele, I want to bring the conversation to you in the studio right now. You did make a statement earlier on today. You say the PDP has the best chance to emerge victorious in 2023. But the primaries happened back in May. 3 months after, we're still having the same conversation about the fact that there's no peace, there's no love lost between the loser and the best loser, you want to call him, and the winner. Are you not worried about the far-reaching implication of this lingering crisis?
Trust me, I'm not worried. I know that where you have very strong characters, you must have issues of this nature. Don't forget that Governor Wike is, I have said it repeatedly, the best governor in Nigeria, hardworking, and very committed to the party. So no one in his right senses would ignore such a man. So whatever it takes to get him, and I'm sure that once we get him to agree to the terms, and I've suggested in the past that he and our candidate must meet one-on-one, no third party involved. Once you can get that settled, we are coasting home to victory.
But what exactly are those? What are those terms? What is being brought to the table before Wike, and what exactly is Wike asking for? Because we're hearing that he's more or less asking for John the Baptist's head, and it's almost impossible. And you have had to actually say to Wike, pipe down a little, don't overplay your hands.
It started from our zoning formula. That's where it all started from, that power ought to have rotated to the south. I agree with him. Absolutely. But if the party hierarchy, in its wisdom, decided that, look, the best we can do to win next year's election is to look for the best amongst us, and they decided that the best amongst us is the Waziri Adamawa, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, then what we then expect is that, okay, what goes to the south? And I think that is Wike is like the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the earth right now. Really? So he's fighting for the rights of the south. And trust me, a lot of the PDP supporters in the south are supporting him because of that. And that is why the candidate has been extremely careful. I mean, having to travel all the way to England to meet with him was one of those moves to ensure that this very important personality in our party is comforted.
Yeah, but people are already saying, can the PDP just move ahead? Can the PDP go on?
It is not as simple as that. You see, it is like sometimes you are playing the World Cup and you say you want to ignore a Messi or a Ronaldo. He's our own Ronaldo.
A Ronaldo football analogy coming into this. Well, Tari, let's come to you as we get ready to wrap up this conversation. Yes, a lot of people in the South believe that Section 37 of your party's constitution should have been respected in terms of, you know, the rotation of power and all of that. But that is old news. Here we are now. 3 months down the line, the party is still yet to resolve its crisis and set up its campaign council. Dele had said that some of the demands, he might not want to mention them here, but one key demand that the Rivers State governor has been quite vocal about is that Iyorchia has to step aside as the chairman, because if you look at the hierarchy of the party, presidential candidate from the north, BOT chairman from the north, and not forgetting the national chairman of the party. So this particular demand, I want to get your take on this. Do you think this should actually be considered for the betterment of the party, especially looking at a great outcome in 2023? Should Iyorchia step aside, in your opinion? And do you think
so the decision for the chairman to step aside or not to step aside, I do not think that we that are the women in PDP, I do not think that we really actually have a say when it comes to who steps aside or not. And I believe also that the leadership of the party, the NEC, the BOT, these are experienced people, and it is ultimately what they decide. People can say, okay, just after the primaries, when this conversation about the chairman to step aside started, even the lots of people from the South that said, no, it's not a good timing because we're going into elections. But at some point, some people were also saying, you know what, they think it should. So for me, it's not about him stepping aside or not. It's about people agreeing. So if the leaders agree that, come on, he can stay and let's have this election, then after the election it goes, then it's going to be fine. If they also agree otherwise, it's the same thing. So I think that what is very important, if you ask me, my personal opinion, is for the leaders to come together and have that conversation in the interest of the party and not self. So if the interest of the party says that the chairman has to step aside, you see, it's not going to be done with some sort of negativity. You're going to see the cohesion, you're going to see the love, you're going to see the oneness. It's not going to be like a fight of a team winning. There's going to be that agreement. And I think it's that agreement we are actually looking for. It's not about somebody stepping aside or not. There should not be any sort of grievances.
Thank you very much. Dele Momodu, you have the last 30 seconds. What's your take on, are you stepping down or not? Should he? 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, I would second what Tari has said, These things are much more complicated. There are processes for stepping down, and only the party can determine that.
And of course, the party will have that all-important meeting, speaking about the National Working Committee to the Board of Trustees, and then, of course, the NEC meeting. That's if it doesn't get postponed again. But in the meantime, I would have to say thank you so much to you, Dele Momodu, as well as Tari Olive Oba, their presidential aspirants, and of course, they met with the flag bearer.
Thank you both.